What's going on, everybody? Thanks for joining us this evening. This is a very special episode of the Going Broadway Podcast. It is Alex. It is Cole with you as always. Cole, what's happening?
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the greatest wrestling podcast ever. Guys, we are so excited for tonight. You guys have been looking forward to this evening.
Asking for this evening as well.
I'm seeing a bunch of Smile Gang, Kylie Night, stuff like this in the chat. So super excited tonight. Real quick before we get started, as you guys saw before the show, our thoughts and prayers go out to Jay Briscoe's family and everything that's going on there for his daughters as well. I know are still recovering and whatnot. So our thoughts and prayers out to them. But guys,
indeed,
I don't know what else to say, but it's time.
It is
and
time.
I don't think there's any reason to wait. We might as well just bring her in. Alex, what you got for us?
So what about I got? It's what about this special individual has for us, ladies and gentlemen, Kylie Rae. Kylie, how are you?
I am doing well. I'm happy, excited, and nervous, but all of the above, I guess. I always get nervous for these.
She's always been on 6 times, and it seems like it's just I'm nervous.
Every time. But thank you for having me. I'm excited to be back, and I love the new setup. I love everything y'all have done. I was watching. I was just enjoying the intro, and it's great. So I'm excited.
That's all. That's all Cole.
Did you see your cameo?
I did. I was like, there were 2 in there. The picture that we took at Glory Pro 2, and it was awesome. Come a long way. I'm very proud of y'all.
Seriously, massive shout out to Cole because he's the one that's handling all of the graphics, video, and such. Some of which we will share a little bit later on, as far as future guests, which we'll kind of let you in on later. But for now, for tonight, Cole, where do we want to start?
I know where we can start. You just did Warrior Wrestling last night.
I did.
Oh, how did that go?
Many other people as well. No, it was so much fun. Stacked show as always, because they bring in just a plethora of talent. I got to wrestle Queen Aminata. Been a fan of hers for a very long time. It was a blast. Just seeing. I think it was my first time in over a year now that I've wrestled that Warrior. So it was. I love it there, and they're so kind, and they just treat everybody so well. It was awesome. She's great, and I got kicked in the back, I got kicked in the chest, I got kicked in the face, but I know it's out of love, right? So we signed up, or I hope so. No, honestly, and all jokes aside, she was wonderful, and I really hope to wrestle her again.
Speaking of Warrior Wrestling, we need to talk about this because we ain't had a chance to talk to you. So last time that we spoke, we talked about you and an Athena match. And then it had came to fruition, right?
Yes.
It got announced that it was supposed to happen. And we were so excited. It was it came from the Going Broadway podcast.
Y'all manifested.
And then it got canceled. So do we have a word on if or when that can be rescheduled? Is there anything on your end? Did they say hey, we're going to do this, but here, or are you just
Yes. So, yes, unfortunately, the cars just didn't align at that point, to the point where Warrior unfortunately had to cancel their shows, I believe, for the whole summer at that point. So again, unfortunate circumstances. And it happens. It's part of life. I think they were hoping to do it in February. They have a show, but the dates unfortunately was not available for the date that their show is on. But that's when it was supposed to be rescheduled for, or that they were hoping to reschedule. So long story short, I know, yes, it's still there still is an attempt to try to make that match happen, but I believe what's meant to be will happen. I have faith. But she's on a roll right now. Oh my gosh.
You got to be careful. She's been picking it up a notch.
Yes.
I mean, as far as the
bad guy.
Well, okay. So I've come to my personal opinion is I've come to believe that it's kind of part of her character, heel turn, whatever you want to call it. But
sorry, I call
there
it
was a
bad
big,
guy.
there was a
But yeah,
big,
heel.
whatever you want to call it. There was a big, I don't know, backlash, I guess, when, you know, she's working too stiff or blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, guys, like, even from the beginning, and you can, anybody that doesn't believe me can go back and watch our podcast, but I've said that, like, they're going to have this conversation backstage before going out there. You're not just going to potato somebody out on national TV or YouTube or whenever it was it started, especially whenever, you know, no disrespect to Athena, but she's probably getting in the ring with some that are legit tougher than she is, or could legit take her in a real fight. And that seems kind of risky given where she's at and where she's going, in my opinion. And so again, I always preface when I say in my opinion. If you guys are watching, if you disagree, great, awesome. We're all allowed to have our own opinions, or entitled to them. I would never tell you differently. That's just kind of my perspective. But anyway, yeah, Chris brings up a good point. Unless it's New Japan Pro Wrestling and you're Kazuchika Okada. I don't know if Kylie or Wolf, you saw that, but
I saw the video.
Oh, in the
wow.
See, like, so,
And by the way, guys, if you're watching, expect these tangents. It's just gonna happen.
right. No, it's a good thing though. And I love hearing different perspectives as well. And again, just in general, something, let's say, personally, I've always struggled with being more aggressive in the ring. And sometimes aggressiveness can get taken out of context or misinterpreted as like stiff, I guess, sometimes. So I feel like there's a way to be aggressive and be snug in safe ways, rather than like intentionally trying to hurt someone. Like there's just some wrestlers who wrestle very snug, and then there's some wrestlers who are very light with you. So it all just depends. And you know, you can talk to them. That's part of, I don't know if I'm peeling back the curtain a little too much, but when you talk to them in the back or even in the ring, you can like say, hey, like lighten up, or like, hey, you know, if you have like a prior injury, like, please like watch my neck, watch my shoulder, X, Y, and Z.
Right.
So like having that conversation, that's part of like the communication. And then also trusting the person you're in the ring with. Athena's been doing this for what, 10 plus years, 15 plus years at this point, maybe even
17.
Close to 20 at this point. So her stuff looks great. And again, accidents happen, but from what I've seen of hers, nothing has looked intentionally like malicious.
Right.
It looks aggressive, which to me looks more realistic. But again, right. I've never been in the ring with her, so I don't know. But like I know there's certain people who I will wrestle. Let's say if I'm wrestling at Freelance, because that's my home company, I know going into that match, hey, I'm probably going to be sore wrestling this person because they hit hard. But they're not going to hit me like in a joint or like the jaw where it's going to dislocate. It'll be like in a meaty part of my body.
Yeah.
And it's it just depends. I guess it just depends. And you could probably like talk to them about it as like, hey, I don't like to be hit that hard, but I'm a fan of hers. Always have been, and probably I can't predict the future, but probably always will be. So I can't speak on like the backlash as far as like other people's opinions, but personally, as long as stuff is safe, and it looks aggressive, I'm a fan of it. The Okada stuff though, that was like a kick straight to the face. So in my opinion, that's the line of like more dangerous. Like again, I don't know. I wasn't in the position, and also that's another part of what we do in this line of work is that accidents do happen. I would like to believe it wasn't intentional because that's where you cross the line of just being unprofessional. But if it was intentional, then that's where it becomes an issue, in my opinion.
Agreed.
But
and to your point, I mean, there are other ways that, I mean, like, for example, kick pads aren't just for the wrestler themselves. I mean, yes, it's going to protect their shins, but it's also going to protect the person being kicked. You know, It's not going to feel like you're, bone on bone or whatever, whenever it's, shin to rib cage or whatever. Like, so anyway,
it's part of the art of what we do, right? So,
indeed.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of vets, so we actually just recently had Medusa / Alundra Blaze on last week, and she opened up about you. I think you saw the tweet or the whatever that somebody covered it or whatnot, but she had nothing but just great things to say about you. So we thought we'd flip the table here and see what you have to say about her and her leadership, her guidance, what she means to you, any conversations that maybe you can recollect.
Oh my gosh.
From your time under
her. It's hard to like put into words because I'm pretty sure any and I don't even want to say not just female, like I feel like this goes for a lot of wrestlers like coming up in like my generation. I would like to believe that she has inspired, like including myself, so many of us to like put work into what we do and like take this seriously and really like work on like, is it honing the craft? Is that okay? I know English is my first language, but man, sometimes I struggle with it. No, but she's just brilliant. She's and a wonderful human being. Like, she came into NWA and she was an agent there. So when I had my time there, I would just like listen to her, and you know me, sometimes I like tend to ramble and it's hard for me to stop talking. So like with her, I was just so in awe that it was probably so awkward because she would just talk and I would be like, oh my gosh, like this is Medusa. And then I would like forget to like say something. I'm like, she probably thinks I'm such a weirdo.
No, she captures you though. She really does. She like draws you in. Like, I think throughout the podcast last week, Alex and I, we just kept like, we were listening and then she'd stop and we're like, oh crap, we got to say something here. Like she draws you in and you're like, keep talking. I want to hear more,
right. Please don't stop. And then you're, oh, is it my turn to talk? Sorry.
Oh man.
She's great. I mean, there's a reason why she is who she is. And and she's just so helpful. Like, she'll take time with everyone. Especially if you're somebody who she, again, I don't want to speak on her behalf, but from what I've seen, if you're somebody who takes this seriously and really wants to get better, she will take the time with you. And she doesn't have to. That's the thing. Like, she doesn't have to like help as much as she does, but she still chooses to. And that's
not true.
She made cool.
That's not true.
Own it.
But it's not true. It's not true. It's one of those situations where, we're on live stream or whatever. Yes. And, sometimes there's that delay. So you think they're done talking. And so you're getting ready to talk. And so like something like that happened. And I like sat back. I laughed. I was like back here. And she said, Cole, don't cry. Don't cry. It's going to be okay. And I was laughing. But now the whole chat, and I haven't lived it down all week. There's apparently a push to get a Cole's crying t-shirt on Pro Wrestling Tees now.
It's going to be like the Kim Kardashian crying face. It's the Cole crying face.
Yeah. There's a push right now in our chats.
Okay, I'm on board for that. So
thanks. Well, I appreciate the support.
Smile Gang shirts are coming first. That takes priority, but we'll have to figure out a crying Cole shirt or something.
Yes,
oh man.
Okay, so like actually, before we went live, we mentioned to Kylie there were some things that we were going to talk about, and one of the things we wanted to bring up was you just had a tryout recently.
I did. What is life?
So like, I mean, how do you feel like it went? Who called you to set that up?
All
Just
of
tell
it.
us the whole experience. Just
Okay.
break it open for us.
A to
Okay,
Z.
and please stop me if I start going on tangents or rambling. Please bring me back and
Ramble away.
The floor is yours. The floor is yours.
Ask any questions. Yes, please. Yeah. What the hell? Sorry, I shouldn't swear. What the heck? So it had all this. I don't know how far in the woods or how early we want to get into this, but and I apologize. Sometimes I don't know what I'm like allowed to say and what I'm not allowed to say, but I'm kind of an open book. So blessing and a curse. But as far as like when WWE goes to like towns, I'm sure you all are familiar, they'll use local talent to come in and do extra work, right?
Mhm.
So they were coming to Chicago, and from my understanding, again, freelance wrestling is like my home. It's where I started. It's where I continue to like train, and just they were asking people from our school to reach out to WWE. I don't know if I'm allowed to mention. I don't know how many people know about this, but it's Gabe Sapolsky, and like he's just such a sweet. I just want to say he's like one of the best people I've ever had the pleasure of knowing. So I've
heard
that
nothing
was Gabe Sapolsky.
Yes, no, I don't know. I'm sorry if I'm not supposed to say anything, but he's just amazing. So like,
we'll cut this out.
We'll edit this. We'll edit this.
I'll edit it out.
I can't even express enough how much he's helped me just throughout this entire process. So and that's genuine, like honest to God. That's who we were reaching out to for extra work and whatnot. And I was like, usually again, so wrestling, y'all know wrestling, the ratio to men to women, it's gotten better, but it's still, there's a heck of a lot more men than there are women. So at this point I was not contracted on with NWA anymore. So I was able to throw my name in the hat for like people for extra work. So I just kind of said like, hey, like if y'all need any women, like I'm more than happy to like be considered for this opportunity. Like, please let me know. If not, I completely understand. Because let's be honest, for the ones who know, I come with some baggage. Just a couple extra checked bags, right?
We all do.
Yeah. Oh, that's fair. Thank you. No, okay. I need to hear stuff like that because
no, I mean, seriously, none of us are perfect. We all got stuff we're working on. Like it's just, yeah.
Just know that in some of these chat threads, I go to bat for you often, and say like you guys haven't had a bad day or whatever. So yeah. But what's funny is that just this little side tangent. Some of the people that get 3rd and 4th and 8th and 9th and 20th chances, and they've shown no remorse for things that they've gone through, or things that were of their own cause too, maybe. And then you talk about other people who are like, man, one of the things I said to somebody was, if let's just say she gets hired by WWE, there's a better support system for her there than anywhere else. Like, if anything, it's better because look at all the people that talk about Triple H and Shawn Michaels and all these people that are there. They're like, they're the best. They're the greatest, whatever. I was like, it sounds like there's better support. And I'm not trying to, I'm not dissing any company you've been with or anything like that. It's just, you're looking at the top dog. There's a reason why.
Like we're making like airline analogies unintentionally, but WWE would be like the first class version of what Cole's referring to. And again, Chris unintentionally made another airline analogy, but I wanted to throw this out there.
Carry on. No, that was a good one. And also, let's be fair, they are the biggest company, so they have the tools and the resources.
For sure.
And they've also been around for so long that they've probably been through it all. Like they've seen like somebody who struggles with mental health on top of many other things, or like they've probably just probably seen it all, so they have certain support systems in place because they've already gone through that. So some of like the newer companies, like for example AEW or Impact is just a smaller scale, so they're not able, while they would help tremendously because everyone there is wonderful, they might only be able to do so much,
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
So
I
yeah,
didn't mean to sign a tangent, but I was just like, no, let's address this real quick. We no longer need to talk about your baggage because it's so past tense. It's so past tense.
yeah.
And so we're focused on future
The growth,
things. So,
the growth,
yeah,
right?
yeah. So, anyways, you were saying,
thank you.
you come with baggage,
yes,
quote unquote.
So
Continue.
what I was getting at is, and again, I tend to be hard on myself, anyways. So I had just assumed that like any type of opportunity moving forward was going to be few and far between, if any. So, and I was okay with that. So, and it got to a point where I was so grateful for anything that did come my way. And again, I talk about freelance wrestling, but I'm so like loyal to this company because they have given me chances after chances and opportunity after opportunity when nothing was even coming in. So, and it just goes to show like how good people are there. And I'm not the only one that they've done this for. So, what I'm getting at is it could be something that one person might consider to be like the smallest opportunity. And like they might complain about it, but to me, I'm genuinely grateful that it, like, to be in a position, like for example, it could just be a match, and I'm like grateful that I get to have that match because there was a time that I wasn't even having that as an opportunity. So, back to the direction, we're back on course. I talked to Gabe, and he, was. From what I understood, he was surprised that I was even reaching out for extra work. Because he's like, I think, essentially, I think we could try to get you a tryout if you're able to. And one thing that I really appreciated was that, we had a conversation of like, where my mental health is, what I'm going through. The sobriety came up. Like we were able to talk about that and just know that like you said, Cole, like, he wasn't focusing on the past. He was more so like, what do you have in place right now that's going to keep you like in the, like on the route that you're currently on of like, God forbid if I do start like going off course, what will keep me on like this good road? So yeah, it was a good conversation. And again, I don't know, well, y'all have been like essentially within this wrestling business for quite some time now. So y'all know that probably sometimes when people say, oh yeah, this is going to happen for you, you kind of
all too well.
Yes, and unintentionally take it with a grain of salt. And like, in a sense of like, oh yeah, like I'll believe it when I see it kind of thing. But I appreciate you even considering me for this opportunity. So, yeah, he was, like, yeah, we'll get you this tryout. I think like, I'm going to have to kind of like pull some strings type of thing. Just like, he's like, I just want to make sure that you're in a good place because like, please be honest with me. If you're not ready for this, like I don't even want to go down this road yet until you are ready. And I was like, I can't predict the future, but I feel as good as I've ever felt. Like you saw me on our first time ever, like talking. I was like a mouse. Like I could barely talk about things.
To be fair though, too, and for those that don't know this, like the very first time we had Kylie on, if you're watching us for the first time, if you're not familiar with us, Kylie was our very first guest, and when she was on, that was literally day one of her road to where she is now. Day one.
And nobody knew. Nobody knew.
Yeah.
Nobody knew. Just to clarify, nobody knew. She went through that interview like a champ. You would have not known. And I think you reached out to us and was kind of letting us know what was going on, and we were just like, wow, we wouldn't have even like you're an actress, because
we had no idea.
We were
but
like,
if you could have
man.
seen me leading up to it, you would have been like, oh yeah, she's going through it.
No, but I mean, in all seriousness, I know I sound like a broken record, but like, you could have easily just said, hey guys, like, can we cancel or postpone this? You didn't. So just again, thank you for doing that, because I really feel like that was so pivotal as it relates to just us beginning to have interviews in general. So anyway.
No, I love that.
Thank you.
And well, I feel the need to thank y'all, because that was a huge step for me, in a sense that I didn't think I was even strong enough to do that interview. And y'all made it so comfortable, and y'all are just so easy to talk to. And I remember like the feeling afterwards of like, that, like, why did I stress out about that? You know, like, right. So it was just, yeah, I can't thank you enough. And I needed that in my life at that point. And it felt like you know how you have like little wins in life and it starts getting your confidence back? Like, it snowballed from there. And of course I wasn't going to be like, I'm day one of sobriety. Because you know, like how
you're like,
by the way, guys,
it's like those TikToks where it's like day one of this, and then like the next screenshot is day one of this, and then the next, like, you don't brag about day one, you know.
That's something you keep it. Well, that's something I kept in. If other people want to, by all means. And now what? We're a little over 15 months. She was the first person to make Cole cry.
Man, you guys act like I just shed tears left and right.
Every time we have a guest, I'll just expect Cole to start welling up.
I'm gonna wear sunglasses from here on out when we have with
the mustache.
Yep, I'm gonna go incognito from here on out. I'm gonna be like R-Truth with the 24/7 title.
Cole's just really in touch with his emotions. I promise.
I am. You know what? I'm a sensitive guy.
I don't even know if that's PG.
But anyways, yes, it was. So the tryout ended up happening, but even up until like, I think it was a couple days. Like, I would have had to leave Sunday, and I don't even think I got the confirmation until like the Wednesday or Thursday right before. So I was like literally up into that, I was like, I don't think it's happening. Like, like it was, but
from a timeline standpoint, this was like more than a week before.
Less than. Like,
so hold on. So you got the call. It would have been, I'm trying to get my day straight here. So, okay, so it was like 5 or 6 days before.
Yes.
Okay.
So Saturday, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday. So 4 probably. And it might have even been closer to Thursday. So, okay, but I had already been in the talks with Gabe for like weeks before that. Right. Like prior to Thanksgiving, right? Because the tryout happened like the first week of December.
Gotcha. Okay.
But it was just one of those like, I don't like to get my hopes up until something's actually confirmed type of thing. Mm-hmm. But I was just happy to even be considered for the opportunity. Even if the opportunity didn't end up coming my way, I was just happy and grateful to be considered. Sure. So I went through preparing, because I'm sure you've heard, like, the tryouts are very intense. It's very conditioning based. So of course, everyone at the freelance school had to suffer but I didn't tell them. We just all of a sudden started doing all this conditioning at training, and they hated it. I'm like, sorry guys, bag drill again. They're like dying, and I'm like, I just really like, I feel out of shape. I want to do conditioning. And they're like, so people just stopped showing up on days that I went at that point because they were like, dude, we're not doing all this. Because it's
like
very
Bill
intense.
DeMott, Kylie Rae.
Yes, right.
It's like right underneath it.
Right. Not that, not quite there, but
I mean,
no,
look, you could have just said, look, it's the time of year we're consuming more than we normally do, just trying to shed the calories, trying to keep everything in check.
Holidays. You know what? I'll go. Well, they won't believe me now because it's already out, but now they know. But
hindsight's 2020. But I mean, I your sweater kind of brought me to that, back to that idea of, just anyway.
I love the how.
Continue.
Oh, no, I feel you. Yes. If it ever were to happen again, I will definitely have that in my back pocket. But it was fun. After, it was one of those during the drills, it kind of sucks. It really sucks. But then like, as soon as you're done, you're like, oh, okay, we did it. So yes, I was preparing as if I thought I had a tryout. But it wasn't confirmed until like the 4 days before.
Wow.
And then at that moment, like once you get the email, it's kind of like, oh crap.
Right.
Right. But the real word.
Right.
So and I had a match that Thursday at in Chicago. It's like a barcade freelance, like every couple of months they do like Thursday shows. And I wrestled Jordan Oliver. I was off Friday, and then Saturday I went over to Limitless on the East Coast, Maine, against Becca. So I had 2 matches, and they kind of like advise you to not wrestle before a tryout, just because God forbid you get hurt.
Right.
But of course I didn't want to cancel bookings.
Yeah. Like how do you prepare? Like how can you plan that when you're as active as you normally are? So it's like, how do you just call those people up and it's like, sorry, y'all, I might potentially could possibly be getting it, like.
Right, exactly.
You're not even allowed to say anything, right? Like at this point in the game, you're not allowed to say anything yet, right?
Correct.
So it's like, what do you say? It's like, sorry. And then hang
right.
up. Like,
and also, out of all people, like I really can't do that because we can now we can joke about it, but it wasn't funny at the time. Like not being at Bound for Glory, like that's not something I could just. I'm trying to still build up my credibility.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to
100%.
be like, hey, I can't. Sorry, I can't make it. Like if I'm at a place now where like if I commit to something, I'm going. Like it's going to take like something very extreme for me to not go because I don't like. I'm not the type of person to normally go back on my word, so I don't like I don't take that lightly. And of course I can't tell them what the reason would be. So I was just, all right, let's just not get hurt. It ended up going, it was fun. Jordan Oliver is one of the best in the game right now. He's wonderful. And I don't know if, are y'all friends? Are y'all fans of Jeff Hardy, his wrestling? I know sometimes he is.
Yeah. I mean, how can you not be of the wrestling?
Exactly.
I was waiting for Cole to do that. Cole is kind of downplaying his Hardy fandom right now.
Yes.
It's hard to be a Hardy fan when you feel like every single time it's better, and then like you get your hopes up, right? And then something happens. And I really feel like him, just a little side tangent, him going to AEW was such a bad decision. In my personal opinion, I think it really opened the door for too much freedom. And he didn't have safeguards obviously put in place.
Right.
So that was just me. So growing up as a kid, man, Hardy Boys top 3 tag team. That's what I grew up on. So
same.
It's always there, but it has that like tainted feeling, I guess.
Yeah. And I would imagine like if your brother's there, like your real life brother, you're gonna think, oh, I'll be comfortable, that type of thing. You take that into consideration.
Well, you see, Matt, he was even shocked. He's like, I thought everything was good.
Right. I hope he does. Sorry, I shouldn't be. Can I drink this?
Go.
I've been drinking the whole interview.
Yeah.
She's like
parched. Sorry. Yeah, right off.
Hey,
yes.
Yeah, whenever you talk for an hour and a half, like that's why. Yeah, we're
right.
we're watered up. So
perfect. Okay, thank you. But yes, I do. I hope he finds help or happiness or what he needs in order to. Cole has to drink. He loses so much. Y'all are ruthless, man.
I know.
It's so funny.
Can I like be like the water boy like from here on out? Like I'll start selling water bottles with the crying face on now. I'm gonna brand.
Oh man.
Yes. Yes.
Branding.
Oh, this is great. I love it.
Oh my gosh. That's funny. Where were we? Oh, we were at Limitless.
Oliver.
Right? Oh, yes. Jeff Hardy. Yes. So I remember I don't know if it was an interview that he did that I remember hearing him say, Jeff Hardy. I've never met him, but I was always a fan, so I would like research his stuff. And I remember him saying that like because he notoriously takes like the I don't want to say crazy, but like the very extreme like dives and stunts, however you want to call it. And he said like he doesn't think twice about it because if he like the moment he not flinches, but what's the word like
hesitates.
Yes, hesitates. Yeah. See the English. The moment he hesitates, that's when he will get hurt.
or just not do it. I mean,
yes, exactly. So he just goes for it, and then like, I've started to try to have that mindset because I noticed when I was nervous about something or like anxious, like that's when I would end up getting hurt. So like for example, like a German suplex. I broke my collarbone off of that a couple of years, 2018, I think. And there was a time that I was like so nervous to take German suplexes. I didn't want to take them after that. Obviously, right? It's PTSD. But now I'm just like, all right, yeah, let's just do it. Like God's got me, whatever, or whoever, if you believe in something or whether it's the universe, it's like, whatever's meant to be will happen. So I'm just not going to stress about it. So,
right.
And ever since I've tried to adapt that mentality, which thank you, Jeff Hardy, for having that, it's gone well. Like did you ever see the movie Due Date with Robert Downey Jr. and Zach Galifianakis?
Zach Galifianakis, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
When he's
I
like,
I don't think I've seen that one.
Highly recommend.
It's got to be on like Netflix or Hulu right now. Like it's on like one of those streaming services. Yeah. It has to be.
It's a comedy, and they get in a car accident, and Robert Downey Jr. comes out with like his arm broken and his neck, and like Zach Galifianakis, he was the one driving. He's the one who fell asleep at the wheel, and he was like not even a scratch. Right. And he goes, "Don't tense up." He literally is like. So like that's kind of how I try to look at it.
Oh man.
And it's helped. It has. So like the those matches, like we had fun and everything went well. Granted, I had like the typical soreness of like bumping and like, silly bruises, but nothing major. So
right.
I went down to the tryout. It was Monday through Thursday. And are y'all familiar with like any of their past tryouts that they've had?
I've seen like you obviously from the fan side, they don't let you in on all the details, right? So you get to see like the sneak peek pictures, things that like people get their hands on, but I don't know if any of us would really know how deep, it goes.
Yes. Okay. It's usually, so what they've done in the past, I mean, y'all are at least familiar with how they'll like bring in like athletes as well.
Yep.
Like bodybuilders and whatnot. And they'll have their like select like independent wrestlers that they'll have. So I had one tryout previously before this in 2018, I think 2006, 17, a couple of years ago, we'll just say. And it was like 50 people or like 45 people. And it was like people from all different backgrounds. But this one was so much different. It was like 10 or maybe 12 of us, all independent wrestlers. So while we previously did like the conditioning and like the, you know, the squats and the running the ropes and like just where they like tried to like break us, for lack of a better term. We were actually able to focus on like the wrestling, because when you have people that come from like you know, different sports backgrounds or bodybuilders, they're not like, you can't teach somebody to wrestle in like
3 days.
Yeah, right. I've been doing this. I started training in 2013, and I still don't know how to wrestle. So to try to teach somebody in 3 days, it's very challenging, and like you run the risk of like getting people hurt, and like we were so limited with like the actual wrestling that we could do. So yeah, it was we got to actually like run spots and do practice matches and do promos and wrestle like their people, like people who are like contracted under that. And it's just like what they do. It's like wild. It's just so cool. It's literally like the Harvard of wrestling. Insane. Like we're learning from like Fit Finley, Matt Bloom, like for our practice matches, like Shawn Michaels was there. And I'm like, I mean, I think y'all know how big, like Shawn Michaels is my all-time favorite wrestler. So like, yeah, it was, and we got to go to like NXT, and I think I only cried like 3 times, so it was
less than me apparently.
Right, still less than Cole. So I think there was one. But it was all happy. Like I was genuine. I went in there thinking like, oh, I'm not gonna get signed. So like, let me just enjoy this. Like, let me make the most of it. And just enjoy being there and learn everything that I can learn. And again, I'm sorry to go back to like the baggage thing, but that was like my mindset of like, oh, well, this is the opportunity. It's not what can come after it. Like the opportunity that I'm being afforded is going to this tryout. Like I don't think anything will come after. So let me just fucking enjoy this right now.
Right.
Because this alone is huge for me because I thought it was like done. Like,
right.
So yeah, and I think that probably helped because that took some pressure off of like, oh my god, like, okay, let me do everything perfectly, let me do everything, you know, like that kind of stuff, and like walking on eggshells, and let me impress the right people, and like who do I talk to, who do I not, like things like that, because yeah, it can be very intimidating being there, but it was just I was genuinely just having fun. Who wouldn't? Like you're literally at the performance center.
Well, and that's what matters, right? Like obviously I think that they're looking for the people that aren't trying to, you know, kiss butt and, you know, this, that, and whatever, because they have enough of those, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
They're like, hey, we got enough of these people. You know?
Right. Please give us something different.
Right.
No, yeah, it was I feel you on that. So no, it was awesome. And there was one point that was like, it kind of shook me a little bit because I think that Tuesday, right? So we went through Monday, we went through Tuesday, and I think at that point it got, I don't know how it got out, but I think on Twitter or something, it like got out that I was at the performance center for the tryout. I think myself and Casey Navarro. I don't know how it got out, but it did, and that's okay. Like it's fine, but that's when stuff starts to come in of like the negativity. It just opens up that door, and I feel like we as humans look to social media for like an escape or like a mindless activity type of thing.
Right.
So like if I go on social media at the end of the day, just to let, you know, just to relax and take my mind off of stuff, you know, it's hard to not see like, oh, why is she there? Oh, she's unreliable, or she's crazy. She has mental, whatever people want to say anyways at that point. So and then at that point it's very easy to like downward spiral and just go down like a rabbit hole of that. So that was a bit challenging, and probably threw me off a little bit, just because who wouldn't, like, when you're
Right.
reading all these negative comments that like human beings are saying about you, human beings that have never met you, don't know you, but again, of course, I respect the fact, like, they're allowed to have their own opinions, like how you were saying earlier, Alex, like everyone has their own opinion. I respect that. It's hard to not take it to heart.
Well, especially when they've never been in your situation, and obviously, I do the Christian hip hop thing, and people don't know, like, as performers, like,
Yeah.
they just think that you got this tough skin, like, oh, you get up in front of crowds and you do this and you do that, like you're tough as nails. So I can say and do it, especially now with the internet community, I can say and do whatever I want because I'm behind the screen and no, because let's be real, some of these guys, if they were to say, or girls, if they were to say what they were saying, to your face, they're not. You're stronger. You're tougher. Than, like, you crack them, and then, like, they just wouldn't. Most of people wouldn't dare say what they post online.
Cole would be making the other person cry.
Right. So, like, I always resonate because I think people just assume that they can just say what they're thinking, and it's like, but you don't know the shoes and the position, like the stress, the anxiety, the comparison. Oh my god, like, comparison is such a tool in performing, because you're constantly saying, okay, well, I don't do this like that person, or like, they have better merch than me, or and it's just like you're already rabbit trailing on yourself, and then you get on social media and so-and-so's saying this, that it's annoying because they don't know, like, they couldn't handle a second in your shoes, and you know that,
and
but
they don't know the whole story.
Reading it. And you're still reading it, though. It's like the mean tweets on what's that, Jimmy Kimmel show?
Yeah.
It's like, where do people come up with these things? But two, like, why? Like, why? Like, there's no way that person offended, hurt you, or did something to you so bad to be that like hateful.
To take the time to actually, like, tweet it too, and also how you were saying, like, to say it. It's a lot easier to say it behind a screen, because you also don't have to see how what you're saying will affect that other person. You don't have to see the hurt in their eyes. You don't have to see, if they go and cry, or if they get upset, or you lose that part of it. So if you're in person and you say something like, I'm trying to think of something.
Insert mean phrase.
Yes, it's yes, right. I want to give it like a context, because some stuff, like, oh, she could, she'll probably, she won't last, or like, so if somebody comes up to me and says that, oh, like, you won't last, like, and they've never met me, like, how insane would that? How mean of a person. To actually, if you put that, like, in context, and you, like, have somebody actually come up to you on the street who have never met you, and they say, oh, you won't last, right to your face, you would think that person's an asshole, right? Sorry, okay, you would think they're an a-hole,
right?
But they're probably a nice person, but again, they don't see how it affects that other person. And yeah, it's just wild.
You always got to flip that argument, though. And this is what I was telling people in chat threads. I was like, guys, look at how I understand she has a past, but look how successful she's still been. That tells me that people who know her, who see the relationship she's built relationships with, can see, oh yeah, she's still good. Like, I always flip it. I'm always like, okay, you're over here focusing on one or two shortcomings, which if we all had our stuff broadcasted for the world to see, we would have so many of them. And, I probably wouldn't be a pastor if people knew every single shortcoming that I've ever, had in my life. And it's like, so you're going to sit there and point out 2 or 3 mistakes that were made because it was broadcasted on television or broadcasted on a media stream or whatever. But let's reverse it real quick. She's still going. She's still getting booked consistently. She's still being talked about in media. She's putting on great matches. Fans still love her at shows. It's one of those things where it just doesn't make sense when you say the 1 or 2 bad things when there's so much good to focus on.
Right.
We can, again, since we already mentioned him, we can talk about a Jeff Hardy, because over the years, consistently, there's been so many consistent of the same problem over and over and over again. I understand that track record. But when you're talking about 1 or 2 instances where, again, you didn't have the support system that you needed, there might have been people who were willing, but I'm willing to, I'm not a trained counselor. I'm not a trained therapist. I'm a pastor. So you can come to me and I will do my best to help you walk through life, but I'm not trained. I may not have what you need. And I have to be wise enough to say, I really think you need to go talk to someone, like, and hand off. And, so it's just crazy, while we're on that subject, I wanted to say, walk it back though. Like it'd be different if she was like, no one booked her ever again. Like, she's radio silence, the Enzo Amore. Let's go.
Sorry, I don't know him, so I don't know.
But everyone was like, as soon as he left, it was like, blacklist him, like,
right.
like no one booked him and you didn't see him for a minute.
Yes.
But, that's not been the case here. And I think that speaks a lot to your personality, the relationships you build, and who you truly are, not because of shortcomings or mistakes that you make and they're only known about because some media social outlet picked it up and talked about it.
Right. No, that helps too. So no, it does. And like I think again, negative news sometimes unfortunately travels very fast, and like good news doesn't as much as we would like it to.
Well, I mean, not to mention wrestling Twitter, quote unquote, is like the most toxic thing that exists out there. So I mean, it's
mob mentality.
Go look at my Twitter and see how many followers I have. I have absolutely none because I stay off of it. It is so mean. It is so mean. I don't think I've seen a positive tweet like ever. They're so far and few between. I can't.
Right. Oh man. No, and you're not wrong. And like, and even if there are, and that's the funny thing too, is that like, as many as like negative responses as there are, or there were at let's talk about that specific post. It's like there were also a lot of positives,
right?
But I went down that rabbit trail of negatives, and it's like at that point we can also like flip the switch and be like, hey, like I could just focus on like the positive. And I did, and I ended up like I turned my computer, or not computer, I don't know, this is my phone, let's be honest. I turned the phone off. I was like, let me just stay off of Twitter because I don't want this to now affect where I need to be tomorrow. Like I need to show up for this tryout, and God forbid, I don't want to prove all these people right as well. Like I want to show up. I want to have the fun that I've been having these past 2 days, enjoy why I'm here. And also some of the stuff that comes with like, let's say your mental health is declining and you may be in your own head and think they all know what's going on. But at the end of the day, nobody cares.
Right.
Nobody's in your head. Nobody's thinking what they're thinking. So I'm like, okay, be realistic. Like everyone has their own things on their plate. Nobody's thinking Kylie Rae is not fit to be here. They have their own stuff going on. So I stayed off of Twitter that night, and the next morning I was still kind of like shook, for lack of a better term. And I called my dad, and he was, especially when it comes to wrestling, like he's just been a huge support system. And he just like hyped me up so much in a sense of like, he's like, I'm so proud of you. Like, this is awesome. You're going to kill it. Like, just keep doing you. Stay true to yourself and just like keep making the most of every opportunity that you get. He's like, you don't have to be better like than anyone else except yourself. He's like, just be consistent. He's like, be consistent, show them that you're consistent, keep doing what you've been doing. And just be in the moment. So like, I just like broke down. So that was one of the times that I cried, and I'm like, why am I going to be so hurt by these people I've never met when like I have this support system of like people who know me, and like I have this relationship with them, and like they're the ones I should care about, right? They're the ones that I want to make proud. Yeah. So I tried, I don't know, does that kind of make sense?
No,
okay.
Perfect sense.
Sorry. So yeah, it's like, I feel like it's easy to fall into that trap. So we end like the rest of the trial ended up going very well, especially after that talk. Very grateful, got to meet a ton of people there, and even people like who I was previously at like because let's be honest, like when you're in wrestling for so long, you start to meet people over the years, and like they might be like at these small shows, and then you see them like 3 years down the road, and they're like in WWE or in some like, but you know, it's just so it's like cool to see like people's journeys. Like Desmond Xavier, well, he obviously wrestles under Wesley now, so I apologize, but like I knew him from like AAW and then like being at Impact with him. And another thing was like I get to like, so like the whole Impact thing, like I've had the opportunity to like see a lot of the people who I worked with there and like take time with each of them and just like apologize, because like, and every single one have just been like so nice and understanding about it, in a sense of like, why are you even apologizing? Like you need to like take care of yourself first, like real life first, like take care, like your mental health, your health in general, like you need to take care of you. And I'm like, no, but it's still like, I was like, I appreciate you saying it, but like, it's still, I wish I would have handled it differently. Again, how you say it, like hindsight is 2020, but like just being able to like, have those opportunities to actually talk in person with them, that, and maybe that was the reason why it happened. You know, like you never know. Like, again, I'm a believer in God. I believe like he puts things in your path.
Yeah.
To like, I was the type of person I would run from my problems, but you're just going to run into them at some point later down the road. Right. So yeah, it was awesome. You know, I got to see Roxy, Roxanne, like Bree, Cora Jade, she trained with us at Freelance. So it's just wonderful. Lisa, Scarlett Bordeaux, like people who I've had the pleasure of like, no, like meeting them before all of this stuff. It's just, it's wonderful. So, and they were also kind where they like, at this point, they don't have to like talk to us, you know, like, but they still take the time with every single one of us. It was wonderful. I loved it. The last day was like, and I struggle with promos. Like I try to avoid, like, you know, like we talked about, I still get anxious for these, even though y'all are like, I don't know if it's weird, but I consider us friends now. So I hope that's okay.
We're friends. It's okay.
We're the Smiley Gang. We gotta be friends.
We'll cry together, apparently. So,
and then I'll bring you waters to replenish.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And I'll just sit back in the corner and let you two handle yourselves. And well,
he'll be the tissue guy. He'll just hold them.
Yes. I'll just kind of help reel everything back in. So
for sure. Thank you.
Continue.
So yeah, it's I totally, where was I going with this?
Everyone was promos. Nice. Promos, yeah.
Sorry. Cole's tears fuel.
Cole's tears fuel.
That's the one. That's the one.
There's a whole line coming out, y'all. It's
this shirt will happen only because for those of you that don't know, this is Andrew. He's a friend of the show, and we joke that he pretty much bankrolls our show.
Oh my god.
He is our Tony Khan. All right, like
everyone needs one, right? Oh my gosh.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, I love
promos.
Yes,
the shirt
promos.
We'll cry for.
They're a struggle, but it was wonderful. I got to like talk about my ADHD, which is like genuine, clearly, if you haven't already noticed. So yeah, it was awesome. Like it felt like real and like authentic. And then I got to have 2 practice matches. One was with Thea Hale, and she's just such a sweetheart. She knew how nervous I was, and she just helped me so much. And then the other one was Fallon Henley, who like I knew her as Tesh Price, and I met her like years ago at Rise that they used to have like before the Shimmer shows, and it's just so like, and she was like, oh stop, I'm gonna cry. Okay, sorry. So she was a dream match of mine. Just get through it. We're not gonna cry. She was a dream match of mine years ago, and then to like have a match, like the first match we ever have is like in a WWE ring in front of Shawn Michaels.
Wow.
And like it's insane. Like there's no words to describe that. So yeah,
that's awesome.
So
Good
long.
stuff.
So when I say things like "what is life," I'm literally like, "What is life?" Like it literally took me 2.5 years to have one match. Like people are having matches in like a year in, and like sometimes like 6 months in. It took me 2.5 years to have one match, and like to see like that was my goal, was just have one match, because I couldn't even get that, and then to see like throughout ups and downs, right, to where like we are now. Yeah, it's just then like the main event thing. It's just
So talk us through that, because people want to know what Dana Brooke is like, all this stuff. Obviously, she praised you on Twitter. So obviously, forget the haters for a second. You turn on your Twitter and you pull up Dana Brooke. She's got you tagged in the post.
Oh my
And
God.
she says this, walk us through also, people, so you can answer all these in your spiel here. You want to know why it was Brianna and not Kylie? Which I think we know, but we'll give you the chance.
So I will start off by saying like Dana Brooke is amazing, just such a sweet human being. You know how like there's some people that you meet them and like instantly you're just like, you can tell they're just a wonderful person.
Mhm.
That's what it was like. And the name, I don't know. I genuinely don't know the reason, but I just assumed that like you're not allowed to keep your name. But it was like,
So it wasn't your decision then?
no, it wasn't.
Okay.
Oh, I would have picked Kylie Rae if I could. But then again, I don't have another name that I go by aside from my real name.
Right.
So it was one of those, they're like, earlier, like they had asked, hey, do you know what name you're going to go by? Because it just says Kylie Rae on the board. And I was like, I don't know. I was like, I only wrestle under the name Kylie Rae. So they're like, okay, we'll get back, like, we'll get back to you or get back to us kind of thing. And then like 10 minutes before we were going out, they're like, so you can't use the name Kylie Rae. I was like, totally understand, like not a big deal. I didn't even ask why, because that's their business,
Right.
Like, of course, whatever. And they're like, do you have another name that you go by? I'm like, no. Do you have any recommendations?
So who's this conversation with that you're?
So one of the producers, I don't know if I'm allowed to say, so I don't. Is that okay to not say it?
Yeah,
it's one of the producers.
No,
But they said that it came from like, it wasn't his decision. It was like a higher up thing.
It was Triple H. We got it.
Okay. Above my pay grade. I don't know.
We got it. Well, you could have done like the
secretly
Daniel Bryan thing. You could have been like
Brian Daniels. What would it have been then?
Rayleigh Kai.
Oh gosh.
Oh, that would have been. That's actually, I kind of like that.
But
Rayleigh
no,
Kai?
that'd be too close to Dakota Kai.
That's
No.
fair.
No.
Oh no.
I don't know.
We'll try that. If there's a next time, I'll try that.
I was gonna say Vince was secretly back at this point, and he's the one that's like,
he's like, absolutely not.
Kylie Rae, I don't like that.
Oh,
name.
so I don't. No, sorry.
We need Brianna Rae.
I just something. If I were to take a guess, it's something along the lines of like, it's more like a legal thing.
Yeah.
Or like they owning the rights of some stuff. Again, I don't know. I could be wrong, but if I were to take a
I'm sure that's what it is. They're big on trademarks and making sure that,
of course,
they own what they want and need to own, and I totally get it. So
and then if they don't sign you, they just blasted Kylie Rae all over TV, and now they're like, we created a star. Even though we didn't
pretty much.
Which I would be eternally grateful for.
Right.
I don't think they would see it like that, but yes, completely understand that. So they're like, what's your real name? And I'm like, Brianna Rae, but like my middle name's Rae. And they're like, all right, let's just go with Brianna Rae. So that's kind of how. I wish there was a better story, but it wasn't.
So much thought process in saying no to Kylie Rae, and then they're like,
all right, let's use your real name.
Whatever.
And they're like, let's just change, because my real middle name is spelled Rae, and they're like, let's just change the E to a Y, so that way it's a little different. I'm like, all right, I'm cool. I'm just happy to be here, man. Whatever y'all want to call me.
Right.
You can give me like generic wrestler as the name, and I'm cool with that. Like
vacant. We have a new vacant.
Yes.
I mean, look, to be fair, at least they let you use your gear, which, I mean, for those that do watch you, you do have pretty synonymous ring attire.
You don't have to dress up like in some of the games.
On the kick pads, it says Smiley Kylie. So I
totally did.
I'm like, my kick pads say Smiley Kylie. They're like, that's
even during the actual match, it's all like blurred on your pads. Like every time you go to kick, it's like
how they blur out the WWF look.
It's the Axiom entrance right now on NXT. That's what it is. It's like, man, her action kicks are just insane right now. It's like, oh my goodness.
Hey, if it would help, I would be so dumb.
Dana Brooke looks like she's vibrating.
Yeah, right. Oh my gosh.
So the match itself went well. Take us through anything and everything post-match up until now, quite honestly, as far as communication, who you've talked to, if anybody.
What spot you are in the Rumble, all of that.
We're getting there, Cole.
Could you imagine? No, so again, never say never, but to my knowledge, not in the Rumble. As far as something long term at this point is I got the not right now deal, which is okay because if it's meant to be, it'll happen. And if it was meant to be, it would have happened, kind of thing. So it's more so they're having me still come back for like extra work. Like I was just there this past Friday and then the Friday before. But from what it felt like, I can't speak on their behalf because I don't know, but from what it felt like after the match, they were maybe I'm naive, but they seemed very happy with it. And it feels good being there. Like the environment, it legitimately feels very like positive and genuine, and that like people are like happy. So like again, maybe I'm naive. So I don't know, because again, I obviously I'm not signed there, I'm not contracted, I don't have to be there every single week kind of thing. So I don't know anybody else's experience, but from my experience, it's been wonderful. I've loved it there. And I grew up on WWE, so of course I've that's where I grew. I'm a product of the system. What can I say?
Right.
But yeah, so like, and then like for example, Road Dogg, like he's somebody who like just like, especially with the sobriety thing, it's just like he's always been extremely supportive. Like he's very open with his struggles as well. He's supported my not my struggle. He hasn't supported my struggles, but my journey and what I'm going through now. Could you imagine? So like, I don't know if that helped or what, but it was so wonderful. It was what she's gonna interview. Get out and check. I wish like. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I don't know.
Storyline twist for you.
Right. I don't know what the future will hold. But yeah, it was wonderful. And I guess the fact that I keep getting contacted to be like to do extra work for them is probably a good sign. And who knows, maybe they don't want to give me too much at once just because they're aware of like after the last day of the tryout, I don't think I can say who because I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but they pulled me aside and they're like, hey, do you have time to talk? And I'm like, yeah. So we had like it was almost like a half-hour conversation of like, hey, where's your headspace right now? Like, please walk me through like, how you're feeling, like what's going on in your life. Like, I want to get to know you. I want to see where you're at. So it was a good conversation. They're obviously aware of, some of the stuff I've gone through, and they made it clear that like they take mental health seriously now, where they might have a schedule of like, you have to be here X, Y, and Z dates. But if you're not feeling well today, and not just like a physical sickness, like they'll say like, hey, if you need a mental health day, you take that mental health day. Mm-hmm. And that was so refreshing to hear. Cause like there was a time it wasn't like that. Like, it was like, no, you got to power through and just like, be like, you got to be here. Like, that's tough it out.
It's the
kind
nature
of thing.
of the business.
Yeah.
That's how it was always worded. It's just nature of the business.
Right.
Now look, you got to promise me that we're not going to get another Jay Lethal situation, because whenever we had him on, we specifically asked, like, what's
he
the
got the
future look
AEW
like?
call while he was on air with us.
I mean, literally. So seriously, we had him on. So this is whenever we had our shows in the mornings. He was on a Thursday morning with us.
Mhm.
Not even kidding. This was it Saturday, Cole? That Saturday?
It was that pay-per-view.
It was that pay-per-view 2 days later. We were having a watch party. He shows up and I lose my crap.
But let's backtrack. During the show, he's super polite, really like him. Had a blast with him. He was hilarious. But during the show, he actually says, "Hey, I got to step away for like 2 to 3 minutes to take this phone call." Now, keep in mind, this. If it wasn't that important, he would have sent it to whatever. And he was booked for this interview. We're live, pal. Like we're live, pal. And he's like, I have to.
I want to. Yeah.
2 to 3 minutes. Comes back, says nothing. I mean, just acted like nothing happened. After I got off the air, or we got off the air, I looked at Alex. I said, "I promise you." I said, "I bet you he just got a call for AEW." And sure enough,
WWE, because we didn't know at the time.
I was like, sure enough, 2 nights later, because his debut in AEW was just him coming out, waving to the crowd, kind of little interview, and I think he booked a TNT title match. I don't remember who it was. Darby, I think, maybe. I can't remember who it was.
You're forgetting his little Shivani thing that Flair used to do.
Yes.
Thing. Shivani, or however it went.
So he did the whole thing, but what's crazy? We talked about earlier in the show tonight about like people making promises and things like that, and I don't think this is his fault, but during the show he was like, "I'm coming back on this show," like, and he was like, "It'll be December." Like, he even named like a month and everything. I think it might have been Fyter Fest. I can't remember when he debuted. But it was
it was like All Out or one of their major.
It was like September, October, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And he goes, "I'm going to be back on the show. We're going to shoot for sometime in December." I mean, he's talking to us. As soon as he gets booked, we contact back, and he's like, "Well, now you got to go through AEW." And we've dealt with AEW for a few people, and sometimes they're great, and then sometimes they're like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
We ran into that with Athena. We had Athena booked to be on the show. She had a personal issue. Of course, us. We're like, understand. Absolutely. We ran into her at Warrior Wrestling when they were here in St. Louis. We were sponsoring the show. She was super apologetic. Took pictures, hung out with us the whole nine. And she's like, "I'm doing your guys' podcast. I want you to know that," the whole nine. And then ever since AEW is still like, "No, you can't have her." And we're just like, we promised the people.
Right.
Of course, we're small fish compared to
and
other
I also,
things.
I also wonder. No, you are. And sometimes it's a situation where we don't know what we don't know, to where maybe something happened with another situation with somebody else in that company who did a podcast and said something they weren't supposed to.
Oh, for sure.
Or something along the lines of that. So now they have these set in place where it's like, well, nobody can do a podcast now. Like, we're very selective or something like that. It's unfortunate, obviously, for situations like this where, y'all are great people. You want to, say anything you're not supposed to say. You're very good about that. You won't press, it's not like one of those trying to dig and just get a story. It's a genuine, just people hanging out, talking about wrestling. We love wrestling kind of thing. And very supportive. But then again, they don't know that, unfortunately.
It's so frustrating because we announce at the beginning of every show. I mean, we didn't tonight because people know with you, it's a different story, but we're not a dirt podcast. We're not here to try to tell us, are you going to be in the Rumble? Are you going to, tell us all those names of all the producers, we're just hey, tell us what you can. And if you can't, no big deal.
And thank God, because I'm such a bad liar. I would I would end up saying it anyways. I'm like, oh crap, I was not supposed to say that. But for other people too, it's
She's
So
number
you're a bad
17.
liar. So look us in the eye right now. Rumble, yes or no? I'm just kidding.
Stop.
I promise.
I want to keep it the suspense.
Stop
Keep
it.
the suspense.
Okay.
So you have a flight booked already, right?
I'm gonna give you. So for those of you old school fans, you know what this is. I'm gonna give you the old Gorilla Monsoon. Will you stop?
So like Scout's honor, I promise. I am not at this.
How do we know you're a scout? How do we
I was
know
a Girl
that you're?
Scout.
How do we know? You know, she's like scout. That's like a pinky promise. It's just like
yes, I will pick you from whatever whole 9 yards. At this point, I am not in a Royal Rumble. I am not under contract to WWE. I'm not under contract to anybody at this point. I'm just enjoying the ride. I'm loving it. I'm very grateful. It's been a wild ride, man. I owe a lot. Another one is like Drake Maverick. I owe a lot to because like, you know, usually when like there's extras at WWE, so extra work at like AEW, like they have AEW Dark, you know, they have Dark Elevation where like the odds of you like having a match are very high, right? Like almost everybody does. When it comes to WWE, the odds of you even being used for like a security spot, a background, like for anything, very slim. It's very slim.
For sure.
Like we went through medical and I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, yeah, I just ate 6 cookies over the weekend. We're just chill. I'm happy to be. I'm enjoying this, like trying to like watch everything they're doing. And like, we still go through like medical and whatnot and like, see their doctors to make sure we are cleared. But I'm just like, you know, sorry, I don't know if I could say that, but it's Chicago people. So people are you familiar with Blair Onyx?
Yeah.
Yes. So she was there. So I go way back with her too. So, you know, we're just hanging out, enjoying it. Like, still like there for a job, but of course, enjoying the fact that we're at WWE, right?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. So we're just like, you know, hey, like watching everyone do their thing, right? Then all of a sudden, like maybe 2 hours before the show starts, Drake Maverick comes up and he's like, hey, he's like, do you want a WrestleMania event tonight? And I like couldn't like comprehend. I'm like, what? he's like, do you want a WrestleMania event? And I'm like, are you serious? Like I thought he was messing with me.
Like, is this a rib?
Yeah, right. I was like, good one. Like, no. He's like, yes. He's like, do you want to or no? I'm like, yes. Oh my gosh. Like, please. He's like, okay, I saw your name on the sheet. Like, you know, like it'd be against Dana Brooke. You have this time. Even like getting an entrance. Like, I'm like, no, he's messing with me. Like, there's no way. Like, yeah, it was just, oh, how wild. And then like Mustafa Ali, like he lives in Chicago. So like I've known him since probably the first year I started training. He is just so wonderful, so helpful. He comes and like he helps anybody that he can help. He probably doesn't want me saying this because he doesn't like compliments or people putting him over, but he's genuinely a great guy and he would take the shirt off his back for you. And he's somebody like, I promise you I wouldn't be where I am today without him. So yeah, just please know.
That's the clickbait right there. Kylie Rae says this about Mustafa Ali.
I know, right?
Cold clips are interviews too, so that's definitely going to be one of them. I guarantee it. Hey, but, look, I know that we have just a certain more amount of time. Did I say that right? It doesn't matter. You know what I'm trying to say. And I want to get through Rumble predictions.
Yeah. Okay.
And I do want to get through just some like quick, announcements and stuff. I got to play the old Lord Alfred Hayes thing. Just it's for the people. They got to give the people what they want.
Can I also
by the following?
Go for it.
Oh, sorry. Can I also say that like Dana Brooke is such a sweet person? Like she helped.
I'll clickbait that too.
Okay. Because she like helped put like everything for the match. She just like, because who wouldn't be nervous to have a match on main event? She like just exactly. She was so genuine when she didn't have to be, and she helped me through. She talked to me the whole time. It was just I owe a lot to her. So we can move on. Oh, wait, we can do, yes. I just wanted to say that. So note it. Okay, clickbait.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cole's got his 15 seconds there. So
yes, Royal Rumble.
So just a heads up, guys, as far as guests that are on the way. So I know that we advertised B. Brian Blair for the 12th, but Cole brought to my February 12th, that is. Cole brought to my attention that that's Super Bowl Sunday. So that might not be the most ideal situation. So I've actually reached out to B. Brian Blair to see if we can reschedule. I've not heard back from him yet, but I will say this: we're not going to have a show Super Bowl Sunday. It's just not going to happen because you guys got to get your Super Bowl fix once a year.
Mm-hmm.
I get it, even if you're not football fans. Anyway, Cole's a Cowboys fan, and I know that.
Are they winning? I don't even know.
I don't know. Someone said that they were tied earlier. But
I'm gonna look while you do that.
But yeah, while
you boo boo.
You know what I'm gonna say. But just to let you guys know of a few guests that we're gonna be having on the way. So I'll throw this one up first. So apparently I'm not allowed to talk during those videos. I didn't know that till just now. I'm still learning stuff about StreamYard, but anyway.
Piece of gum in my mouth when you were doing that. Sorry.
You're good. Oh,
that's fish. That's awesome.
That's what I was going to say earlier. I like how you made it sound like earlier, like 6 cookies. You made it sound like that was a lot. I'm just like, I'll eat a whole roll of Oreos and not even flinch.
Oh. Mindlessly. Okay, but to be fair, the cookies, they're the big cookie. I literally have one sitting on my counter waiting for me. Can you see this? This is a box.
Oh, yeah. I see it. I'm zooming in.
Cookie. I already ate 4 already. That's my week. So after a show, that's like my favorite pastime is just going and binge eating a bunch of cookies. So
so what's funny is, I mean, literally like a block from my house, it's, you've used the phrase, it's a blessing and can be a curse, but a block from our house, on one side of the road, we have a bakery. So it's like donuts, cookies, cake. And then on the other side, when it's summertime, it's an ice cream shop.
Oh my God.
So it's like, anyway, I'm surprised. I'm surprised I'm not heavier than what I am. But anyway, so bringing it back on track. Bobby Fish joining us on February.
January? Oh, I thought it was
26th, I think.
Yes. February 26th. Okay.
Yeah, February 26th, normal time, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. That's one that we've announced previously. So, Cole, how many new ones did we say we're going to announce tonight?
One. We're doing one a week.
Just one per week?
One, unless you want to. Unless because Kylie's here, we need to do 2.
I really would like to just, because Kylie's here, I'd love to just reel them all off.
Let's hear.
We're in charge.
Thank
we
you.
have no one that tells us what to do. So.
Okay, so I'm going to reel these off one at a time. Again, apparently we can't talk while I'm showing these, so I'm going to show one at a time. We'll talk about it, and we'll move on. So here's the next one.
New world order.
Man, Eric Bischoff had a banger of a track in WCW. It took a lot for me to not listen to the rest of it. So
someone say it was too sweet.
Playing it.
You know.
Y'all got some good guests coming up.
So Eric Bischoff,
it's not over
Sunday, March 5th, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. I know I promised our patrons something, a little something, but I'm gonna announce them all tonight because we only have Kylie.
We're in charge.
We are in control.
We're the authority. We know the people said they wanted what they wanted, but we're the authority, and what we say goes.
Okay,
the consumer driven type of.
All right, so we got two more. So I'm
Yes.
gonna throw these up one at a time. Here we go. Marcus Buff Bagwell, March 19th, I believe was the date on that.
Yes.
Normal time, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central.
That is a
19th.
reschedule. That is a rescheduled one. Yes.
Yeah, we were going to have him on sometime last year, I think. And truth be told, we actually had to reschedule because it was kind of coincided with a major surgery my wife had, and it just wasn't feasible to try to, have a podcast, much less have a guest on. So finally got that rescheduled.
Is she okay?
Yeah. She's fine. So long story short, she was within about 1.5 year time span. She was rear-ended in 2 different car accidents. And so she needed to have, neck surgery. It was like, I forgot which one. It was like C3, C4, C5, maybe. She had to have discs replaced, triple disc replacement. There we go. But yeah, I mean, she's very, very, very much getting there to where, pain is definitely a lot better than it was. Shoulder movements much improved. So, but yeah, that was last year. So, yeah,
tell her I'm keeping her in my prayers too for things to get even better than where they are.
I absolutely will. And thank you. Okay. Last one. And then we'll get to our quick Rumble predictions. Cause Kylie, I know you are only with
She
us
wants a
for
cookie.
certain
She
amount of
wants
That last cookie's calling.
I don't blame you. So for you old school fans, like me, this is one I'm super excited about. I'm super pumped about it. So here we go.
Yeah. That's so cool.
As a musician, there's just certain aspects of wrestlers' theme music that just grab me, and I don't know. I can't explain it. So
it cracks me up because down here on the bottom of our screen, we could see like everyone's camera angle still, and I see Kylie's reaction, like their Royal Rumble appearances. She's like,
I wanted to see.
She's like, this last one, she was like, "Shut up!" Just like.
I was curious.
So yeah,
man.
that will be
Off my glasses.
that one will be a special date and time. That one is on Monday night, April 10th at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. So we'll be announcing and posting these over the next X amount of weeks. So, but yeah, that's what's on the docket for the next.
Wait, so
next
nonchalant
months.
too. Those are huge guests. Like, can we?
Thank
take a
you. But
moment?
to be fair, I mean, it was like, and we've told our listeners or viewers before, it's like we have little to no connections in the wrestling business. Like it's literally just reaching out to people, whether it's, because with the wrestling business a lot today, a lot of wrestlers now will have contact information just on their social media page. It says, contact me for bookings, interviews, seminars, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just like sending out emails, text messages, Instagram messages, and Twitter messages, and just, insert social media that they have message. And I mean, and so anyway, but yeah, we're very
it's no big
fortunate.
deal.
We're super.
Yeah, it's
Well, we do this all the time. Come on.
No, we're super stoked. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it.
awesome.
So okay, we got to do some Rumble predictions if I can talk.
Predictions.
And we got to let Kylie get to her cookie within the next few minutes.
Yeah.
So,
let's do it.
And a nice quesadilla in the fridge. It's Sunday, so I'm a little lenient today.
I got some hamburger helper waiting on me. I'm excited.
I made sure to eat before we did the podcast this time, just because I know last couple weeks I ate afterwards, and by like 8 o'clock I was like and not having it. So
sitting there.
Okay. And yes, for those that are asking, I've not forgotten about the raffle. I've got everything pulled up. It's ready to go. We'll do that probably once Kylie is off, unless she wants to stay. But
and quick reminder, we forgot to say one more thing. We still have open slots in our Royal Rumble gaming. I think there's 6 left in the men's and like 9 left in the women's. So make sure you go sign up. And for David Tilley, because she's on, we will have Kylie Rae downloaded from the thing. She will be your selection for the women's Rumble.
You will be on WWE 2K22.
Oh,
I need you to know how long I searched to find you on this thing, and then I did not know.
Hold on. It took Cole a lot of blood, sweat, and
tears.
naturally.
So here's what's sad. I did all this work. I got all the downloadable characters done. I did all these down. I had like 60, 70 something people downloaded, and then my Xbox goes, all your data has been deleted. It had something messed up with it. So I spent all Christmas break re-downloading, fixing. I had to fix overalls, and I got down to 2 people left on my list, and you were one of them. And it's because I'm searching through, and again, all these people, they either make the same wrestler 900 different ways, or they make like Bart Simpson. Like it's trying to find the people you want was so difficult. So I'm like 400 pages in, still looking, and then David Tilley goes, you can just search her. And I was like, what? I was like, he showed me how to do it. So I still have to download you, but you will be on there. And I think someone earlier actually said you're their women's champion on 2K. So it might have been Tilly, actually, now that I think about it. So
the greatest. The greatest. Oh.
I had to mention that though. So 6 spots left in the men's, 9 spots left in the women's. Go sign up. I think they're Alex, remind me, $10.
$10 a slot. Yep.
$10 a slot. And we want to get that done before the Rumble. So let's get those filled up, people.
We need an appetizer on our Twitch page before the actual Rumble next Saturday.
Right.
This upcoming Saturday.
Yeah, it's coming up.
So I had to mention that since we're talking Rumble.
Yes, and thank you shout out to David Tilley too, because what a sweetheart.
Okay, and guys, I apologize. We'll have Kylie back on. I promise it's gonna happen. Your guys now. Your guys, yeah, exactly. Your guys' questions aren't lost on me. We will get to them for sure.
Yes.
Next time.
Yes, please. I'm sorry.
Next time she is on, that will be the very first thing we tackle. In fact, we might just do Q&A the entire time. Who knows? We'll see.
So down for that. So down. And and anything y'all want to talk about too. It was not blame, but the tryout was it was a good chunk of it, so I apologize. Dang it.
and Gabe.
Sapolsky. If that is your no.
Right.
If that's your real name.
Yes.
Mountain Dew Pitch Black match.
Oh my god.
Has anybody tried Pitch Black yet? I know you can buy it.
No.
I don't know if it's any good. Bray Wyatt, LA Knight. Do we really see Bray Wyatt losing this match?
I have Uncle Howdy winning. Which, by the way, is Kylie Rae. If you guys didn't know, that is how she's debuting. It's Uncle Howdy. No, I'm just kidding.
No, you go.
I think it's going to be one of those matches, kind of like the Cena match. I almost kind of feel like there may not be a winner, like one of the word life. There may not
so nonchalantly.
There may not be a winner. I guess you could say Bray wins because it'll have him coming out on top like within the match. Like,
well, do you remember the Bray and Strowman swamp match or whatever it was? Was there a winner to that?
Technically, because Strowman never came out of the, or I guess he did, but then they
just sorry, that's not funny, but
no, but you're right. Like the story is so like twisted. I think because how they've been interfering Alexa Bliss into this too. Like you might see a debut or a reveal. You know, some people are saying Uncle Howdy will be revealed. Like
yes,
I don't know if we get a winner. I almost kind of feel like it might, because of how they're like this is the one match that they've been promoting too, like for weeks now. So I'm kind of like, we may not get a winner. It may just be like one of those things that happens with Bray Wyatt. So, but if you have to twist my arm, of course I'm going Bray Wyatt.
And not to mention, we don't even know what a pitch black match is.
It's very true.
Is it like the Mimosa match with Chris Jericho and Orange Cassidy? Like it's just a vat of pitch black Mountain Dew
soda
all around the ring and first person in.
That would hurt so bad.
And then out of the Mountain Dew comes Uncle Howdy.
Somebody's definitely getting involved.
You remember the old Batman movie from like '89 where it's the Joker's hand that's coming out of that vat?
No, I wasn't born yet. I'm sorry.
And then it just sinks back down.
You were born in '89.
I was born in.
I was a youngin.
Were you really?
I'm 29.
29? Oh my gosh.
So I still have time to go through a table.
92.
Oh snap, Alex, we're sorry. You're old.
I'm old.
Word life.
Not by long. No wonder you're a Cena fan. That era.
Yeah, come on now.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
I wore it just for you. I knew you were a Cena fan.
To
Yes,
be fair,
I am.
To be fair, I was born in '85, but I mean, like, I'm a fan of wrestling stuff that's from like the '70s and '80s. So
he's an old soul.
I am. Okay. Raw Women's Championship: Bianca and Alexa.
Ooh, Kylie, you're the women's expert here. Can you let us know who's gonna win?
I don't know. I don't think
She can't tell us because she is actually going to interfere in the match.
No. That's no.
She is Alexa Bliss.
So and now I'm thinking, does somebody get involved? Because with Alexa, does somebody get involved in that match as well?
Yeah.
Because Bianca's now been champion for
a while.
A minute.
Yeah. No, not quite a year yet, right?
It's got to be close because she won it at No, it's been a year. She lost it at SummerSlam. She won it back. No, so it's under. Because she won it back at SummerSlam, right?
Right.
I'm seeing what the old Google machine says.
It's got to be probably maybe half a year.
No, she won it back at Mania last year. She beat.
But she lost it to Becky at. No, you're right.
Oh, it was the SummerSlam before that, right?
She lost it at SummerSlam to Becky the before that Mania.
Year.
Yeah. Okay.
And that was the SmackDown Championship, was it not?
No, she was only ever Raw. I think
Bianca.
Oh no,
she was SmackDown Women's Champion. Okay, I'm going back to the Google machine.
I don't remember her ever being on SmackDown.
Hang on. I
thought she was drafted to Raw and has been on Raw.
I'm looking.
What I think is if Alexa does lose, I don't think it'll be like a clean win. I feel like something will happen to keep Alexa strong, type of thing.
The thing that's hard with this is that it's road to WrestleMania too. So whatever you do here has to lead. Like if you have Bianca drop, you're not having Alexa then drop this before Mania. So there's got to be storylines in place for Alexa.
Right.
What's hard for me is because of the storyline that Alexa's in, I'm having a hard time pointing out a story that makes sense to go into Mania with her.
As the champ, yeah.
I think Bianca's a bigger headlining name to put against whoever you want to put there. So I'm going to say Bianca wins, but I agree with you. I don't think it's clean. I don't think
by something. Yeah.
Okay. So I agree. Just my quick prediction, getting it out there. Bianca won the SmackDown Women's Championship at Mania 37 in 2021.
Sasha Banks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then she won the Raw Women's Championship at last year's Mania.
Okay.
So, all right.
Oh, wow.
Let's get back to the right page here.
So we're going with Bianca, but not a clean finish. Something. I can see that. That's a good point.
Okay, so Roman and KO.
I'm so invested in this storyline.
This is for both titles, right? This is not where they're gonna like split us off. And
this is for both.
I hope KO, but I think it's gonna be Roman.
Can you have KO lose again though? Like
I know it's got to be something where there's obviously going to be some type of involvement for this too. I feel like they try to do that to like keep people like having a reason to continue to like fight. But regardless, this whole Sami Zayn, KO, the Usos, Solo, and Roman Reigns, I am beyond invested in this. So I don't want it to end. So whatever they have to do to continue it, that's what I'm on board for.
Side note for me, if I had it my way, Roman's one or because they're talking about having him defend both belts or he'll whatever. They're trying to get them separated in some way or another. My hope would be, since the rumor is Rock is not going to be in shape, ready, whatever that means, Mr. Rock, who's ripped and shredded and all that. But I would like to see Roman versus Sami Zayn in the main event of Mania, and I'd like to see Sami Zayn be the one that knocks. Like, talk about a guy who's been faithful to the company and has done whatever he's been asked. He's the most unlikely candidate that they would have thought to. But we always talk about on the show, who do you build up? Like, you got to build someone up to be Roman, and accidentally they did Sami. Like, they didn't. I don't think that was ever the plan, but it was so accidental. So the problem I'm having here though is that if it was for one of the belts, I would say KO wins, because you could have Sami accident. They're doing the trial of Sami here tomorrow night on Raw. That they're gonna, you could have him accidentally cost Roman. This is how they start to split them up. It's all them, but because it's both belts, I don't see Roman going into Mania without the title.
Right. No, I
gotta go Roman. I don't know. Sammy's gonna mess up. Roman's still gonna retain. Something's gonna happen there, but
leading the Mania.
I don't know. I'm gonna say Roman.
I'm going Roman as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know I said I was gonna throw out like some possible surprise names for the Rumble matches. I don't think we have time for that. Let's just pick a winner. So women's Rumble match.
What for women's?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Is it Kylie Rae?
Brianna Ray. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, it's Brianna Ray. Yeah, it's no way Kylie Rae is going to be. That's how you're tricking us. Kylie Rae won't be there. No, Brianna Ray will be there.
I will not. I will be enjoying it, or enjoying watching it, rooting for everyone. Can I say? I will try to be quick. Because I know we'll be wrapping up, and I'm going to.
You gotta get your cookie.
I do have to get my cookie, and Isaiah's has a hockey game, which is what he already left for, and I'm going to be late. But
I'm sorry.
No. Believe me, it's more than okay. I promise I'm super supportive. They're going to do great. So what I do want to say, I have a feeling a surprise entrance. Can I throw out Mickie James? Can I throw out Roxanne?
Mm-hmm.
I hope Cora Jade.
Okay.
Maybe I think Sol Ruka. Is that how you say?
Yeah.
She might. They seem to be very high on her. Chelsea Green, possibly.
Yep.
I think.
Yep.
Let's think of a winner.
I'm gonna throw out Naomi comes back too.
Oh yes, that would be great. Okay, I can see that. Who is Becky in it?
Let's see.
You almost have to think that she will be, because I think you're going to see Bayley, Io, Dakota Kai, but they'll probably all eliminate each other because they're probably setting up for Becky Bayley at Mania.
Yeah.
I'm assuming. So
okay, and what about Asuka? Is she?
She's there.
I'm sure she'll be in it.
I hope she is at least Final Four in there.
I mean, if you go based off of last year's Women's Rumble, which we were at, half of it was legends. So they didn't use any NXT. I don't want to call them call-ups because they may have not been called up, but they didn't use any NXT. They didn't even use all of their women's roster that was there. They had
right.
It was a fun experience, but the event itself, as far as the booking, was not
It was one of the worst Rumbles, probably.
Well, I'm hoping with Triple H in charge.
agreed.
We're thinking winner. We're thinking winner.
Winner. Okay. I hope Asuka. Because I'm a big fan. But I'd be very happy with. I can see like the Beckys, the Baileys. Like, I wonder if it sounds like Ronda's starting to do tag stuff now, right?
I read she's out for Rumble.
Oh, she's out?
I read she's out for Rumble.
Okay. Well then I'm gonna go with I want to go with Asuka, but I feel like Becky or Bailey is probably more realistic. So those are my three. How about y'all?
I'm gonna go with a dark horse, I think. And I'm gonna go with Raquel Gonzalez.
Ooh, okay. I can see. Liv would be good too. Liv Morgan. That would.
Yeah.
I think I'm going Rhea Ripley. I think what do you want to call it? The internet wrestling community or whatever. I know there's a big rumor that she's going to be in line for a title shot, and
she should be.
I don't disagree with it, so that's who I'm going with.
No Michins? No one said Michin?
No.
Mia Yim, sorry. They keep putting her Titron.
Like, which one is
Michin? I was like, stop.
But Raquel and Rhea are good ones too.
Okay.
I would be happy with them. But sorry, yes, men's, right?
Men's Rumble. Okay. So I'm going to give you some names that I jotted down real quick that you guys give me your thoughts about, or you don't have to. I'm just going to, these are names I jotted down that could be surprises or whatever.
No,
so
none of them.
John Cena.
He was on there.
John
he was actually on there.
I saw Santino Morella's thing. John Cena.
Stop it. Okay. I'll go one by one. Ken Shamrock.
Ooh, okay.
X-Pac.
Yes.
Nick Aldis.
Okay, I can see.
I think Nick Aldis is a likely one. I really do.
Jay White.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. So this is going to be a good year.
Now, I take credit for this next one because this just randomly came to my mind, and I think it could work.
Tell me.
El Generico.
Oh.
So Sammy with the mask.
Because here's the thing. You could run it like in the court here that like he can't be in the Rumble. Like he needs to prove his loyalty. And then he comes out as El Generico. That's
a really good one. I hope. I would love to see.
Okay. So last three.
Tell me.
Rock. Potentially.
Okay.
Boo.
You say Brock or Rock?
The Rock.
The Rock? Okay.
I think Brock will be in it.
Yeah, I don't think that would be. I think that's like I think that'd be like an expected surprise, kind of like Cody would have been if they hadn't announced it.
I know. I wish they didn't announce it. I get why they did, but I wish they would have kept it a secret. I like.
Okay, here's my last two. Vince McMahon. Can you? And I posted. Hear me out. I posted this on our Discord chat. Can you imagine like the nuclear heat that would get? I mean, just.
Can you imagine his body? Because I watched his match against who was that? Kevin? Was it Kevin? No. Who was it? Austin Theory.
No,
it was with Austin Theory. Who was that with?
Pat McAfee.
Pat McAfee,
yeah. He went like limp, like for every hit.
Doesn't matter. It's the Rumble. He doesn't have to do a move in the Rumble.
Yeah, but
I'm not saying I would like it. I'm not saying I would like it. I'm just saying like because it's Vince. If he is truly back,
he blew out both of his quads just getting in the ring at one point. His knees. Okay, he's old. Can he even
these reactions?
Can he even go over the top rope? You know what I mean? Like that's the real question.
Okay, but conversely, here's another one I take credit for that I've not heard anyone throw out. Now, I get that his health probably wouldn't allow it, but I feel like he would get the exact opposite reaction. Like people would go crazy if he came out. Triple H.
Yeah, I would like that. But
he came out and said that he's done though. He's not getting. He's been very clear on that. I thought you were gonna say Zack Ryder.
Oh yeah,
Matt Cardona. I feel like Cardona Ryder, whatever. I feel like that's. I don't feel like that's as likely because he's still got bookings up through like March at this point. So I think he's a more
Mickey
likely
James
return.
last year.
I know.
It's
but
not. It's
feel
not
like,
unlikely.
No, but I feel like if he's going to come back, it'll be permanent. And because he's got bookings already, I feel like he's more likely to be a night after Mania kind of thing, a Raw after Mania.
Because he's always ready.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I could see that. I like that.
Okay. Winner.
So winners.
Okay. I mean,
can I also say I would like to
Go for
see
it.
Pat McAfee or like Bad Bunny, or even Logan Paul in there. Like I like those moments, or like
you made Alex frown when you said Bad Bunny.
hey, at least he's not some of the other celebrities that have been on in the past. That just
he tries. He does.
It's gonna be Jake Paul though. It's not gonna be Logan Paul.
Oh,
it's gonna be Jake Paul.
But isn't he like he's technically contracted, right? Like why?
Logan Paul's good. I don't know what anyone else thought that.
Yeah.
One of the better frog splashes I've
Pat
seen.
McAfee's a good one though.
I like Pat McAfee.
We'll see.
So we're talking winners though.
Talking winner.
Shanky might be a good one.
Shanky.
Wasn't that his name? The one that danced with Jinder Mahal in the tag matches. That's a good one. I think he has a real shot.
What are you even doing right now?
So I had to make the joke.
Okay, AJ Styles is injured, right? He's out.
Yeah, he's out.
Do you think Edge would be in it?
Yeah,
Probably.
I think he will be. This is his last year. He said he's retiring in Canada next year. So
oh, dope. Okay.
Oh, SummerSlam next year. Yeah. Well, this year.
Which I want to say Beth Phoenix for the women's Royal Rumble then maybe.
There's going to be some legends for sure.
Good. What if we saw Medusa in it? Okay, sorry. I know I'm getting distracted. I'm sorry.
She said no. It's about as likely as Kylie Rae being in it, apparently. So,
but not
like
Rihanna Rae.
Rihanna Rae.
Okay, the men's. Rollins. Does Rollins have him?
I mean,
he's in it.
No, he's gonna be in it. So I mean, he'll be in the Rumble.
Bold prediction. I think in any particular order, you're gonna have Cody and Seth come out 1 and 2.
Okay. You think Sammy might win it then?
See, that to me, I'm just saying. I think everyone's saying Cody Rhodes, and I'm kind of leaning no, and here's why. You don't need to give him the Rumble win to put him in a title match. Like, he's good enough. Like, I always think of Money in the Bank and Royal Rumble. Like, Rey Mysterio would have never been world champion without Rumble.
Right.
Like he just wasn't in that picture.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I always look at those as opportunities to give somebody who's unlikely the likely, like.
Right.
And so there's that part of me that's like, hey, like Solo Sikoa is probably going to be in it. Wouldn't be shocked if the Usos might be in it, like.
Right.
So
and I can see that dynamic of like one accidentally, like if Sammy accidentally eliminates one of the Usos,
Solo, right?
Or
that's Solo, what I'm thinking is like this trial tomorrow night's going to say a lot because I could see Roman saying the only way you get to stay in the bloodline is if you win the Rumble and then forfeit your match to me at WrestleMania. Like prove your loyalty by winning. You got to prove that you should be in this by winning a big match. But then you got to prove your loyalty to me by laying down and like that's a story build right there.
Right.
Sammy does it. Then for the next couple of months, he's like, yeah, I'll lay down for you. You're the tribal chief, and then come match time, it's like, he can't do it. And you got Kevin Owens in his head more, people are talking.
So I like that.
That's bigger storytelling. Now, they don't hire me. I've reached out several times. And, it's a whole
in time.
But
they'll give you call Gabe. He'll give you a tryout.
Yeah, right. Call Gabe up. He's a great person.
I think Cody Rhodes is the likely answer, but I am gonna go with the dark horse answer again. I'd rather, won't shock me if it's Cody Rhodes, but I'm gonna say Sami Zayn.
Okay. Same. And I feel like if Cody would have been a surprise that night, maybe he would have won. But the fact that he was,
that's fair.
Yeah, it's not as
big, right?
Right.
Not as big of a moment.
And you're right. He doesn't need it at this point. That's something that could be worked towards in the future. at this point, it seems like the biggest storyline right now is the bloodline and the Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn stuff. So why not? And sometimes that happens, right? Like they can't, like if something's organically happened, they sometimes have to roll with it. So
that's why I'm like, hey, this is your moment. This is the time to shine right here.
I'm so excited. Next Saturday, it's 6 days. 6
days.
I kind of like that they changed it to Saturday now. It's weird on Sundays, not having a pay-per-view, but it's also nice getting into bed early for work.
Premium live event. Thank you very much.
Oh, sorry.
Live event. Thank you very much.
It'll never not be a pay-per-view.
Only found on Peacock for $9.99 a month.
For now, until WWE gets sold. True. Then who knows?
In time, we will all see.
I hate I wore my Rumble shirt and you can't even see it on camera. Oh well, that's all good. Okay.
We feel it.
Guys, we ran over a ton. Kylie could have left like 30 or 40 minutes ago. She stuck with us. We appreciate it. We'll let you go. We'll figure out a date in the future to have you back on. But thank you again so much. We'll let you get to your cookie and your quesadilla
and the hockey game.
And anything else. But no, seriously, thank you so much. There's a reason we have you back. It's like so much fun whenever we have you on. It's just completely organic and like we don't have to come up with any kind of script or it's not rigid. So but yeah, a lot of fun. We'll have you back on and
thank you all so much. Y'all are it's wonderful. And the time flies by and I
know.
In a good way. Like I'm grateful for y'all. And I meant that. I consider y'all friends and I want to follow up with y'all after the Rumble and see what some of our predictions are too. So and I would love to come back, do the Q&A and whatever else too. I enjoy this. I will always, and me, I don't do a lot of interviews. Like I really do get nervous for this. So, but y'all make it so easy and I love being a part of your journey and your path and I'm excited to see where your future lands. So thank you. And I'll stop rambling now. So
like Alex said, thank you so much. Merry Christmas with your Santa shirt. And, again, like I've said in the past, you ever need a manager, you could do the smile thing. I can do the crying thing. It can be a whole gimmick. So next time you're in St. Louis, Chicago, you just hit me up and I'll be there ready to go.
Yes.
I'll go through a table. Like I'm serious. Whatever is needed, I'll do it. I will cry.
I just had this image of Kylie coming out, and I can't even do it. But Cole coming in out from coming from behind you and just with a handkerchief or something.
You know how much I could help your promos though? Like you're all smiley and stuff, and then I just come in behind and I'm all sad and and I'm just crying. I was like, please don't get hurt.
Please, I need the help with the promos.
I'm there for you. All right. Yeah. 2 thumbs up. This guy's got it. So just I got to do my selfish plug. Come on now.
I'm going to pitch it. So I hope you
just pitch it. Let WWE call Gabe, let him know. And I'll be ready.
That's another shirt idea. It's just going to say call Gabe.
Call Gabe.
That's all. That's it.
And it'll all be good. But seriously, you're the best. We love you. So thankful that you were able to come on with us. And it's happening, y'all. She'll be the honorary guest once again at some point. Smile gang
for life.
All right. I will see y'all later. Bye. Enjoy.
Oh gosh. Okay. We went way long, so we're gonna do this
shirt. Let's get this shirt thing going.
I'll let you tackle the graphics on that one. So
the shirt. Oh no, I was talking about our raffle, our belt.
Oh
raffle.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I got it pulled up. We're doing 10 clicks as usual. So here we go. 1. It didn't do anything. Try this again.
Nobody wins. Sorry. Next week. I'm just kidding.
Let's see. Oh, there we go. Okay. 1. Okay. Did that time. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Click number 10 is our winner. That will be Ian Whitmer. So Ian is the winner of a belt that I actually already have, and will go out to him. So congratulations to Ian and Cole. We're way past it's about that time. So final thoughts if you got them.
As always, guys, thank you for watching the greatest wrestling podcast ever. We do sincerely appreciate it. Again, join us on Discord. You can find the link by hitting us up on social media, and we'd be happy to have you join along. Go fill those rumbles up, y'all. $10 a spot. We have 6 spots left in the men's, 9 spots left in the women. So make sure that you grab your spot so we can get that rumble done before the real Royal Rumble. And again, enjoy wrestling this week. Enjoy the Royal Rumble this weekend. And we will see you live back here next Sunday, I believe. Right, Alex? Yep. I think it's next Sunday.
Same day, same time. Normal show, time. Royal Rumble recap. We'll be here.
And other than that, guys, I'll leave you guys with your favorite thing in the entire world.
That's so good. We'll see you guys next week.